Hey, this is a Raw review for the 6th of April, and I suppose you could call Wrestlemania wrestling's birthday. And therefore this Raw would be the day after wrestling's birthday. And you know how the day after your birthday is kind of dull, it's kind of boring, it's kind of pointless, directionless, you don't know where you're going? That's kind of what this episode of Raw was like. And it wasn't too bad, but it wasn't great. I suppose it's better if you like Batista, but I don't. Basically, the show started with them highlighting the biggest mistake they made at WrestleMania, which was to not give Randy Orton the WWE title. Orton comes out, of course the guy's been carrying the company for the last 6 months, the face of the company in fact, and he says a lot of things he could have said in any shoot interview, basically, that the McMahons owe him a title shot and that the company owes him a title shot. In actual fact, what they owe him is the title that is currently around Triple H's waist, but you know, whatever. He lists his achievements, how he's kicked Vince in the head, kicked Shane in the head, got Stephanie, and says he's going to move on to the other McMahons, he's going to get Linda, and then he's going to get Vince's grandchildren, at which point Vince comes out irate. Of course, the old heel Vince would have been like, grandchildren are dispensable, I wrestle my own daughter. But the new face Vince is furious at this, and he says there's going to be a match of Backlash between Triple H, Shane and Vince versus Orton, Rhodes and DiBiase, which sounds pretty dull. And he even claims that Orton is afraid to do anything without Rhodes and DiBiase, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Rhodes and DiBiase are totally ineffectual. Where the hell are they? They weren't at WrestleMania, they're not in this opening segment. What are they doing? He challenges Orton to a match tonight. Orton said he's not going to Vince is not going to make it to Backlash, and that he's going to put him down tonight. I feel he should have used Chris Jericho's word and euthanized him, but you know, each to their own. Next we had the Lumberjack match between Carlito and Primo and Miz and Morrison for the unified tag titles. This is the match we were supposed to get at WrestleMania. In fact, the people in the crowd at WrestleMania did get to see, but we didn't on TV. Michael Cole described it as a bonus match at WrestleMania. No, it was a highly advertised match on both ECW and SmackDown that I was really looking forward to seeing, but whatever. I presume they put on roughly the same match that they put on last night. Once again, both teams are good, in my view. Once again, my gripe with Miz and Morrison is they keep kicking out after one or even before one. That's rude. That's no selling your opponent's offense, but whatever. Lots of good tag team moves from both teams. I can only remember, they're both really good teams now. I can only remember one from the Colones where they did Primo did a front flip over the top rope and Carlito did a spinning leg drop over the top rope, which is good. It was all leading up to this one spot where Carlito and Miz try and superplex each other and both end up falling into the Lumberjacks. Primo then does a suicide dive into the Lumberjacks, and John Morrison goes up to the top rope and does what I presume was a WrestleMania spot, and certainly a spot fitting of WrestleMania, which was shooting star press onto the Lumberjacks. Goes on a bit longer. Miz and Morrison get a few near falls, but Carlito wins it with a backstabber, which I'm happy enough about. All the backstage moments tonight were between Shane and Vince and Triple H, and Shane and Triple H, just basically the McMahon family sucking each other off all night. It was pretty hideous. First one was Shane and Vince. Don't do it, Dad. I'm gonna do it, son. What the fuck was the point of that? Anyway, we had the Raw Divas versus the SmackDown Divas, a match which totally ignored heel-face divide, to the extent where we had Mickie James, face, Jillian Hall, face, heel, Layla heel, Kelly, face, Melina, face, versus Natalya Neidhart, who's a heel and is on ECW, Maurice heel, Eve Torres face, Gail Kim face, Maria face. Yeah, so basically just a ridiculous premise to begin with, that they'd be tagging up with each other. As you'd expect, the match was alright actually. The match was was at its best when Gail Kim and Melina were in the ring together. Gail Kim, of course, is very, very good, and Melina's okay, though not as good as perhaps you think she could be. She's a bit slow and a bit sloppy, but Gail Kim does a crossbody, a drop kick. She throws Melina to the outside, at which point Maurice takes a cheap shot. which Gail Kim takes exception to, once again proving how ridiculous this match is, that they be on the same team. Natalya Neidhart comes in and she does some good stuff. She's clearly a good wrestler. She does a cool submission hold on Melina, but basically because she's looking so strong, we know she's going to take the pinfall, and she does when Mickie James gives her a tornado DDT, and the Raw Divas win. All in all, decent match. Then we had Shane and Triple H backstage. Talk to Vince. Okay, Shane, but you won't listen. God. Then we had what was described as like a WrestleMania All-Star Challenge match or something ridiculous. Between Jeff Hardy, John Cena, CM Punk, and they showed Money in the Bank footage, and I was furious, of course, because Christian should have fucking won. Ridiculous decision. Rey Mysterio and Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat on one team. A lot of people will say this match devalued Ricky Steamboat's WrestleMania performance. I don't think it did. I'll tell you why in a bit. Taking on the heel team of Matt Hardy, Chris Jericho, Kane, Big Show, and Edge. Matt Hardy's now stolen William Regal's old jacket. He looks a bit different now. There's lots going on in this match. There's lots of little feuds that they're not sure if they're going to play on or get rid of. So the Jericho Legends feud appears to still be going on, and Jericho fights Steamboat a bit in the middle. And there's the Matt-Jeff feud. Matt doesn't want to fight Jeff at the start of this match. And also there's Edge and Big Show are on the same team. Their feud's clearly still going on. Although, as we find out later, Cena is going to be taking on Edge for the title at Backlash. So I'm not sure how their feud's going to develop. Steamboat gets in the match, and if anything, he's even better than he was at WrestleMania. He just looks great. Arm drags and cross bodies and flying chops to the head. He doesn't look out of place at all. A few variations on the same theme here. Steamboat gets dominated by the heels, then Punk gets dominated by the heels. The match just went on. It was a fun match, it was okay, but it was all about little mini storylines. It all broke down, as you'd expect, with so many heated rivalries in this one, when Jeff went over the top and attacked Matt, and then Cena attacked the Big Show, and I presume Kane attacked Punk, because we were left with Steamboat and Rey Mysterio for the faces, and Edge and Chris Jericho for the heels, Steamboat and Chris Jericho on the apron, Edge and Rey Mysterio the legal man. Rey Mysterio gets Edge in the head scissors, sets him up for the 619. He's coming off the ropes. Jericho comes in, tries to powerbomb him, and Mysterio sets him up for the 619 as well. Double 619. Ricky Steamboat climbs to the top rope. Rey Mysterio the upper top rope. A frog splash on Edge. A crossbody on Jericho. Actually, I think it's the other way around, which didn't make any sense, but that's okay. Great crossbody by Steamboat. He does it with the best. Rey Mysterio picks up the win. They all leave, except for Ricky Steamboat. Now, this is why I think he was in the match, and this is why I think it's a good thing that he was in the match. He didn't win the match at WrestleMania. He put on a star turn in WrestleMania. Only Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker were any better than him on the night. And I think he deserved to celebrate with the fans. Finally, he's getting the recognition he deserved. This is a man who should have been the WWF champion at some point and never got to be. Because people like Hogan and I think Vince didn't like him. I'm not sure about that, but he should really have been the champion. And finally, he's getting the recognition he deserves, which gave me hope for Christian, who maybe he can come back in about 30 years' time, wrestle a good match, and everyone be like, wow, he really was really good. Someone should have given him a title shot before now. But finally, Steamboat gets the recognition he deserves, which is good news. I'm going to switch over to part 2 to discuss the end of this, including Batista and all that. So, hope you come with me. I'll see you in a